It's already past 2300, and it's still a long way to Fengtian.
Major Tsuji, what is this about? Why the special train in the middle of the night to escort this girl to Japan? She looks pretty ordinary to me.
Hell if I know. There's no telling what the big shots in Tokyo were thinking. Next time I see you-know-who, I'll ask her, okay?
What's going on? Shoot!
It's you!
Yes, Roger Bacon. I'm honored that you remember me so well. You can't escape. Come along quietly, sister. Ah, a new actor in our play. I was fond of him.
Ah, yes, I understand. I'll make this short. Okay. By the mercy of the Blue Dragon. No, it may have been a curse. Lily's pretty voice was switched with her father's gruff voice. And the only way to get her own beautiful voice back was for her to kill her father. Having fallen in love with an actor in a traveling troupe, Lily took my ceremonial dagger to kill her father. That's where we left off, correct? That's right. Give me the sharpest knife so that my father won't suffer for too long. Horrible, isn't it? Just thinking about it gives me the shivers. I still remember the horror. Lily's pretty lips spoke those horrible words in the gruff voice of an old fisherman. She didn't kill her father right away, though. She couldn't. Every night, she would go to her father's bedroom and stand beside his bed. She would lay the dagger on her father's bearded throat. But still, she couldn't commit the final act. She would just stand there in silence for a while. Then she would leave the room with tears in her eyes. Every night, the same routine. But actually, her father was not asleep. He was ready to die if it meant that his daughter would have her beautiful voice back. The daughter, standing at her father's bedside. The father, pretending to be asleep while his daughter places a dagger to his throat. My heart aches every time I picture the scene. And finally, the troop was ready to move out of the fishing village the next day. Lily made up her mind and entered her father's bedroom again. But the bedroom was empty. Her father knew she'd leave the village with the theater troupe, so he thought, I'll send her off with a little something. And he had gone out to sea in search of some fish you could catch only on the night of new moon. But irony of ironies, that very night, a storm rolled in, and the seas raged wildly. The next day, the sun reappeared and rose high overhead, but there was still no sign of Lily's father. It was just like that night some while ago. Then, as the sun was going down again, the debris of a fishing boat washed ashore from the crimson-red ocean. Everyone knew her father was dead. Lily cried and cried in despair. Now neither her voice nor her father would ever return. Her cries echoed all over the village, cries like a wounded beast. Oh! 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 The young man from the theater troupe went to Lily's house to console her, but she would not let him in. Of course, he never knew that the hideous cries coming from the other side of the wall were Lily's own. Late that evening, after the sun went down, the cries came again. Oh! 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 Lily's voice had grown hoarse from her endless wailing, making it sound even more fearsome. But then, another very strange sound joined in. Shloop, shloop, splat, shloop, shloop, splat. It was like a wet, sloppy piece of meat slithering across the ground. The sound was coming from the harbor, and it was getting closer and closer. Shloop, 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 splat, shloop. And And then the gulls started to screech too, perhaps because they wanted that meat. Shloop, shwee, shwee, shloop, shloop, splat, shloop, splat, shloop, shloop. The sound stopped right in front of Lily's house. Soon the door began to open. Creak.
You've grown into a beautiful young woman, Kuihua. Since I saw you last, the sound of your playing has become so much richer. So what do you think, Zhen? Why is it that the march of time, the endless rising and setting of the sun, has to be so cruel to us old folks? At any rate, Zhen, here I am, back in Shanghai. I intend to clean things up once and for all. The legacy of Hyuga, who passed on so long ago. Well, perhaps next time.
My mother gave her life protecting me from the monsters. But when I looked into her eyes a moment before she died, it awakened in me the blood of my father that had been lying dormant. A fire ignited within me, and my emotions exploded like a hurricane. I don't really remember anything after that. The next thing I knew, the room was littered with the torn-up body parts of the monsters that had killed my mother. I was the only one left alive in a house covered with blood. I clung to my mother's cold corpse all night long, weeping and begging her to forgive me for failing to keep my promise to my father, for failing to protect her. I could never stand to feel that way again. So the day that I fail to protect you is the day that I too will die.
Father, would you listen to me for just a few minutes? The world today seems to be heading toward disaster. No, I'm not talking about Albert. The countries known as the Powers are pouring massive sums of money into building up their militaries. Like children vying for the biggest collection of toys. And you know, at first I thought I would just use Yuri and the others. I thought I could use their remarkable powers to benefit our nation. Yes, just like the Japanese army was trying to do. But the more I watched that reckless Yuri in action, the more ashamed I started to feel. I mean, Yuri really isn't thinking about anything. He's not thinking of a national interest, or of politics, or of money, or of anything he has to gain or lose. He just sees that girl, and he sees all the forces lined up against her. And so he protects her, nothing more. Just like some comic book hero, you know. But I'm a little jealous. I mean, the really important things in life aren't about profit and gain, right? I think maybe I'll start searching for those things too. The truth is, I'd really like to search for them together with him, but... Oh, forget I said that. Thanks for listening to all my silly talk.
Ah, it feels so wonderful. I feel so truly alive at this moment. I've never felt such a rapturous feeling of bliss. To live, to peer into tomorrow's tomorrow, that is my deepest desire. You, my friends, have liberated me from the prison of endless tedium. And no matter what may await me in the days and months ahead, I shall never regret it. With this sword in my hand, I shall travel with you all to the very end, to be witness to the tomorrow that we create with our very own hands.
And so, our battle came to an end. The god, awakened by human hands, was returned to sleep once again by human hands. On the morning after, a refreshing breeze blew across Wales, and the horrible events leading up to yesterday seemed like nothing more than a bad dream. Soon, it was time to say farewell to everyone. Keith, our handsome vampire, grew weary of the hustle and bustle of the outside world, and so he returned once again to his peaceful castle in Transylvania. I wonder how many centuries he'll sleep this time. Good night, and sweet dreams, dear friend. Master Zhu Zhen, our brave Taoist adept, has gone back to Shanghai to mend the disruptions in the energy fields of China. You taught us so much, Master Zhu Zhen. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And please, try not to overexert yourself. Our beloved spy for hire said she planned to go home to Paris, but she joked about how her next assignment was probably already waiting for her. So, there's no telling where she might be right now. Hallie, that cute little street boy we met in London, set sail from Southampton with his mother, Kodelka, to find his long-lost father in America. Finally, they'll be able to live together as a family. I pray you'll all find happiness. As for me, I'm headed for Zurich, where my mother's waiting. With Yuri, of course.